How's it going, everybody? Josh here, and I finally have my first Challenge Monday video for you guys. I'm super excited to be starting this, and like with my last challenge, I'm going to stick to a Pokemon who kind of gets forgotten a little bit. And that Pokemon for this challenge is going to be Carnivine. And yeah, Carnivine isn't as forgotten as Girafarig, but I mean, the only real thing he's in is he's in the anime for a little while with Jesse and James. But other than that, Carnivine is a pretty forgotten Pokemon that I want to use today in this challenge, and I'm going to be running through Platinum with Carnivine. Taking a look at Carnivine's base stats, it has pretty good physical stats in regular attack and defense. However, grass-type physical attackers aren't the greatest when you don't get moves such as Leaf Blade or I can't think of any other physical grass moves. It does get Power Whip. However, the speed stat is going to be the most concerning because there's a lot of speedy Pokemon towards the end of the game, and that is going to be the hardest part for this run. Now it's time for everybody's favorite, the rules. Rule number 1, only Carnivine can be used in battle. Rule number 2 is going to be that I can use HM Pokemon only for HMs. And the third rule is going to be that I cannot use items in battle. However, held items are allowed, and you'll see that I use quite a bit of held items in this run. Do I think I can win? Yes. Is it going to take me a while? Absolutely. So, let's dive into Carnivine versus Pokemon Platinum. Using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I decided to switch out Turtwig for Carnivine. This one seems kind of simple. Carnivine being a grass-type Pokemon, switch with the grass-type starter. That makes sense. So diving right into our first rival fight with Barry is what I named our rival. He's got a Chimchar, I have Carnivine, and what really stinks about this fight is that I have Bind and Growth. Now, Bind is a special move in this generation, and Growth raises special attack. However, Bind is a terrible move with 20 base power, and I believe it has 95 accuracy. And that's the entire reason why this battle takes so dang long. The other thing that's cool about Bind is for, I think it's maybe 5 turns, maybe it's 3, it squeezes the opponent and makes them lose some health. As you can see, we're already almost 2 minutes into the run, and I'm still at the rival fight. Like I said, this fight takes forever, so I'm just gonna skip to the end of the fight, and I'm gonna tell you that we do win. When I finally get out of that fight, I decide to name my Carnivine Venus. Now, if you do not know why I named it Venus, you should take a look at Carnivine for a sec. And then I hope you'll be able to figure it out. Then the next rival fight goes a little smoother, but it still takes a little while. He starts with Starly as I throw out Carnivine. Something that's going to be a real huge challenge for us in this fight, because Carnivine is a physical attacker, anytime that we go up against our rival and his Staraptor towards the end of the game, it has Intimidate, which lowers physical attack by 1 stage. And that's going to be huge, a huge cog in what I want to do against my rival towards the end of the game. However, right here with Starly and Chimchar, it's not a huge problem. Carnivine has a huge stat advantage in these first couple fights that really help it towards victory. We also now have Bite, which does a ton more damage than Bind and is physical, so that uses our superior physical attack stat. Later rival fights are going to be an issue though, like I said, because of Staraptor and because Infernape and even Monferno are fast Pokemon who have high special attack, and if you saw in our stats, our lowest defense is our special defense with a base of 56, or 86, excuse me. But that's still our lowest stat, so we win this battle pretty easily, but just for the future. Rourke is a absolute cakewalk. Why? He's a rock type gym leader. We level up a little bit outside of Orberg City and inside the gym itself until we hit level 13 and we get Vine Whip. Vine Whip, physical grass type attack. It doesn't have the most power, but it's powerful enough to get us through this gym. Well, the thing that stinks about this gym is they're pretty physically defensive with Pokemon like Geodude that you just saw on Onix right here. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a sec. But yeah, with them being physically defensive, it takes more than one shot unless we got a critical hit, which the first time I went straight for this gym, right when I got into the city at level 10, and kind of failed. So I decided to train up a little bit, get Vine Whip, and then go take him out. Cranidos is last, but Cranidos is the least defensive Pokemon on his team, which really helps. But like I said, this fight was very easy once I got Vine Whip on Carnivine. Other fights later in the game are not going to be as simple as you may have predicted. The main reason for that being is Grass type is a very dependent type in my opinion. There are lots of things that counter Grass types in this game, especially trainers like Cyrus and Candace and even Flint in the Elite Four, but we'll get through those as you'll see here. Our next fight's going to be against Mars of Team Galactic, and the first time I went into this fight, I lost pretty easily to her big, swole, fat, and fast cat. If you haven't seen Purugli's stats, I suggest you go take a look at them because they're really insane. Especially the speed. Purugly has a really high base speed stat, which I find hilarious because it is really huge. However, in this fight, Purugly doesn't really stand a chance to our level 20 Carnivine at this point. Not much else to say on this fight other than we took it out kind of easily, and Mars is going to be the easiest commander for us just because Jupiter and Saturn both have poison type aces, and with the types of moves that we're going to get, which are mainly grass, normal, and dark, we're not going to be able to deal much damage to those two. But Purugly will be able to deal some damage to Purugly. We do win this fight. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because this is just taking too long. Next is a fight that I thought was just going to be a little more challenging than it actually was, and that's the Gardenia fight. The reason I thought Gardenia's fight was going to be a little tougher is because Gardenia is a grass type gym leader. My ace Pokemon is grass, so I can't use any stab moves to help me defeat her. However, I get insanely lucky because her Pokemon just can't deal enough damage to me, and Ingrain really doesn't heal that much, but it's just enough so that she can't deal too much damage to me, so I survive. This fight I honestly thought was going to be a lot harder than it was, like I said earlier, because I couldn't deal much damage with stab moves. However, her moves can't deal much damage either, and she used mainly grass type attacks. Good thing we had Bite though. Our next big fight is going to be against Jupiter. This fight took me a few tries just because of Skuntank. It being poison and dark, which would negate our grass type moves, and Bite working on Skuntank for any major damage. So I had to teach Venus Return, and that's the main source of damage we have against Purugly, which, yeah, it's not stab, but it uses our superior attack stat, which I'm okay with. I actually keep Return for the entirety of the run. It's the only move in my set now that I have when I go to the Elite Four. And the reason being is that with every Cyrus fight, he in the end has a Crobat. And Crobat is my worst nightmare because it is a poison and flying type, which are both weaknesses of Venus. So if I have... And my grass type moves are not very effective, and they only deal a quarter of the damage rather than dealing half or one type resistance. So having Return is going to be a major help for late game, especially against, like I said, Cyrus, against my rival, who I also can't deal stab physical attack damage to unless I have Return. But as you'll see here, Return deals a decent amount of damage to Skuntank and will ultimately win me the battle. The next major fight in this game is Fantina, and we have a pretty good idea of how we want to play this fight. Just use Bite. Fantina's a ghost type gym leader, and Bite's a dark type move. It's super effective against all three of her Pokemon. It uses our attack stat, which is superior to our special attack stat, and we pretty much go straight through the gym. Now, this does take me 2 tries, however, just because of Mismagius and Confuse Rayluck. You'll see, and you'll hear me say even more throughout this run, how unlucky I get with Confuse Ray and being confused, which is why I said I have a love-hate relationship with Carnivine in the first place. And like I said, you'll see that, and you'll hear me say that, oh yeah, Carnivine just likes to hit itself with confusion sometimes, which makes no sense because its item that it's holding right now is the Soothe Bell, which raises friendship. Anyway, after I take out Mismagius with some bites, Haunter comes out and I bite it once or twice and it goes down fairly quickly, which would win me the 3rd gym badge. Another thing too, this fight was actually a lot easier than I thought too. This gym leader, for me especially, and I don't know about you guys, she's usually the toughest gym leader in the entire game. And to beat her on my 2nd try with a Venus Flytrap, it made me feel pretty good. And I was able to swim through these next few rival battles and gym leaders with pretty minimal struggle. Like I said before, our next rival fight, he has a Staravia now, which has Intimidate, which is going to be a pain in our butt, my butt especially, for the remainder of the rival fights. However, Staravia just uses Double Team and raises its evasiveness, which I made a little mistake here. I kept Bite, but got rid of Feint Attack. Feint Attack never misses, so Staravia using Double Team kind of worried me a little bit, and I thought to myself, shoot, I could have had Feint Attack instead of Bite that has a chance to miss. Anyway, he sends out Monferno next, and I'm able to get off a couple of returns to take him out. As you can see, I'm level 35, which is 8 levels higher than any of his Pokemon, which helps a lot in the damage dealing department, especially with Staravia's Intimidate. You'll see that in the very end, I'm actually much higher level than Cynthia's Pokemon even, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The rest of this fight is a pretty much clean sweep with Roselia and Boizel each going down to a combo of returns, bites, and Vine Whips. The next fight is Maylene. Now, Maylene has a pretty straightforward gym. I actually really like her gym layout in Platinum, which is just a regular old boxing gym with hanging pads that you push around the floor. I honestly find it quite entertaining. I think it's funny that it's an actual gym inside a gym. Anyway, Meditite goes down to Crunch, which we now have at level 41. We had to try this fight once or twice just because of this Pokemon right here, Lucario. Lucario, if you look at all my moves, I've got Grass moves, Dark moves, and normal move of Return. Each move is resisted by Lucario. because of its steel typing, and Dark is doubly resisted because of Lucario's fighting typing. However, I got extremely lucky by getting a critical return and putting him in the red, which was really nice. And one more crunch is not enough, which I found hilarious. And she didn't heal Lucario. None of the gym leaders really used potions, which I found interesting. But one more return is able to take out Lucario, which pretty much caps the easy fight here. And Machoke, I don't know why I keep forgetting it's a Machoke and not a Machamp. I think if you're a gym leader, even at this point in the game, you should have a Machamp. But to make matters even easier for me, she has a Machoke, and that thing is able to tank one turn. However, Rock Tomb barely does anything to me, lowers my speed just a little bit. However, I still outspeed, and I take it out with one more return. The next major fight is our rival right outside the Pastoria gym. Now, as you can see, this is my actual third attempt on this fight. I know I said that I didn't have much trouble through here. I really didn't. I just got unlucky with either double team making my moves miss more than normal. Actually, that was pretty much it. But Staravia's having Intimidate and using double team really made my life pain, just because it would lower my attack stat by one stage and it would rate its evasiveness by one stage. Other than that though, this fight was pretty straightforward. I, for the rest of the fight, was able to use Return to deal decent damage on Monferno, and then Roselia, and then Boizel. Monferno dealt some damage with Flame Wheel. That was another thing that happened one time. It burned me, lowering my attack stat even more. And yeah, pretty much after Monferno, it was another clean sweep with Return and Vine Whip for Boizel. The next fight in this game was probably one of the easier fights as well, and it was against Mr. Crasher Wake, as he says, the triple threat wrestling, singing gym leader. Oh boy. So I start out with a crunch on Wake's Gyarados to try to lower its defense, just so I can finish it off with Return, which I know would do it with a defense drop. The thing that's really funny about his Gyarados is he keeps using Waterfall, which deals very little damage, and he's slower than me too. So Waterfall flinching isn't gonna do anything for it. After one more Return and Crunch, Gyarados goes down. Next to come out is his Floatzel, which is the scariest member of his team. Why? Because Floatzel has Ice Fang, and Ice Fang is not fun. Ice Fang is one of my weaknesses, and it does less than I thought it would, so I took a nice, big, huge sigh of relief as Vine Whip, did a little more than half of Floatzel's health. Unfortunately, I had a Citrus Berry and healed. One more Ice Fang brought me down to 11 health, and Vine Whip was able to almost take it out, and I started breathing very heavily here. It didn't go for a move as Wake healed it with a Hyper Potion, and I hit it with another Vine Whip, which actually did the same amount of damage as I thought it was going to, and not kill it because I was praying for a crit. It hit me with an Aqua Jet, left me with 2 HP as I hit it with a Vine Whip and took it out, and out came the very, very, very not scary Quagsire. Quagsire is a water ground type, which is 4 times weak to grass, so that was extremely helpful. However, it is pretty tanky for being a little blue water boy. However, Vine Whip was unable to take it out, and I got super scared. However, it missed a Rock Tomb. Wake does not heal, and I'm able to take out Quagsire with a single Vine Whip. And the next fight is going to be against Cyrus. Now, Cyrus in this entire game is going to be the worst person to fight. Why? Because I'm going to quick do calculations in my head, but 4 out of his 5 Pokemon that you fight, especially with a grass type starter, you're in a losing matchup against. Especially in the Distortion World fight, which took me too many times, which I will explain when I get there. But even in this fight, all 3 of his Pokemon have super effective moves against me. Sneasel with Ice, Golbat with Poison and Flying, and his last Murkrow with Flying as well. This fight took me a few tries just because of Murkrow and Golbat especially. I did find the Shell Bell, and that's the item I have on Carnivine. It restores a maximum of 1/8 of Carnivine's health every time he deals damage. And it all depends on how much damage Carnivine deals. So, unfortunately, excuse me, wow, I'm really having hiccups while I'm recording this audio. He's only going to restore up to like 14 health per hit, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's better than not getting any health back. Pretty much the fight goes until I'm able to take out his Murkrow with some returns, because dark type moves don't do damage to Murkrow, as well as grass type moves don't do that much damage to Murkrow. So like I said earlier, return is the saving grace of this run. If I didn't have return, I wouldn't be able to really deal damage to Cyrus's Pokemon, unfortunately. But a couple returns and I'm able to take out the Murkrow, kicking Cyrus out of the small little cave in Celestic Town. The next big fight is our rival on the bridge. And this is where our rival fights start to get really tough. Staraptor is a big, physical, speedy bird that has Intimidate. And Intimidate sucks. Like I've said already like 20 times in this run. It's big, speedy bird with Intimidate and Double Team. Almost forgot Double Team. But I'm able to take it out with a Crunch and a Return. And I couldn't remember if Infernape was in this fight, so when I saw Heracross, I was like, uh-oh, does this mean he has Infernape? But Heracross is no big problem, as a couple of returns are able to take it out. It is able to hit me with a Night Slash, which doesn't deal very much, even though he has Aerial Ace. I wonder if he was crit fishing like I crit fish all the time in this game. But that's neither here nor now, as I take Heracross out with another return. However, Infernape is in this fight. Shoot! Infernape, like I said earlier, is a speedy special attacker with fire moves. And fire is not very nice to grass. So when he hits me with a Flame Wheel and it deals almost half of my health, I get very nervous. He is able to get 2 off because he is faster than me, but I'm able to tank them both, and I'm able to take him out with 1 more return. His next Pokemon is, in fact, Roserade, who can't really deal much damage to me, and is kind of weak in the physical defense department, so I'm able to take it out with a couple returns. Yeah, unfortunately, with the speed that I have the game playing at, it's really slow. Eventually you'll see me speed it up some more, which is gonna really make my life easier when trying to record stuff. But like you see here, I'm almost able to take out Roserade with one return, as it just sets up Toxic Spikes because he doesn't know I'm not sending out any more Pokemon. Anyway, so I hit it with one more Crunch, take it out, and last but not least is Floatzel. Floatzel with Aqua Jet is usually a run ender for me when I try to do Nuzlocke with Infernape as my starter. But this is not a Nuzlocke. I don't have Infernape. I have my Venus Flytrap. It's Grass type. And Aqua Jet deals no damage to me, so he's not even going to think about using Aqua Jet. I do, however, have Power Whip, which is a 120 base power physical Grass type move, which is much superior to Vine Whip's 35 base power. However, Vine Whip is 100% accurate, while Power Whip is 85% accurate. Which is quite unfortunate for me, because usually I like accuracy over power, but the power of 120 versus 35, it's just too much not to take, as Byron fight is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, because none of my moves deal very much damage to steel types, except one, and that is Grass Knot. Grass Knot you get after beating Gardenia, and it's a move that deals damage based on weight, and steel types are extremely heavy. Like Magneton. You'd think Magneton is just 3 Magnemites, but it's actually 10 Magnemites heavy. Steelix is another Pokemon who's extremely heavy, much heavier than its predecessor Onix, but Grass Knot's able to take Steelix out in one hit, and out comes Bastiodon. Bastiodon was the Pokemon I was using Grass Knot for. However, it doesn't deal as much damage to Bastiodon as I thought it would. And unfortunately, it's able to heal with Citrus Berry and live to see another turn. Very unfortunate, very sad, but it's how it is. It hits me with a Stone Edge, which doesn't deal that much damage, so I'm not too worried. And 2 more Grass Knots are able to finish the job as it hits me with another Stone Edge. Like I said, this fight I thought was going to be a lot harder than it was, but it wasn't, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Commander Saturn is the next fight, and this fight is pretty easy. This is right after Team Galactic decides, we're gonna blow up a lake. Fun times, right? For me, no, because that means I have to travel to each lake and fight all the commanders, which I'm not gonna show Mars's fight because I've already fought Mars. She's not anything special besides having an ugly, fast, fat cat. Anyway, Saturn's got Toxicroak as his number 1 ace partner thing, and Toxicroak is the bane of my existence. Why? Because my grass moves deal very little damage, my dark moves deal very little damage. However, my normal type moves are able to deal normal damage. Hooray. So I'm able to hit Toxicroak down with 1 return, almost taking it out. However, it has a Citrus Berry and is able to heal almost to half health, which isn't that bad, but then it uses Revenge and scares me and almost takes me out. However, 1 more return is able to take it down. Out comes Bronzor, who I crunch a few times and take it out of the match. One thing about Bronzor and Bronzong, they are the 2 Steel-type Pokemon that I could actually handle, which is saying a lot because I can't handle very many Steel types, especially Scizors. Scizors are the bane of my existence as well. But I'm able to deal damage to Bronzor and Bronzong because of Crunch, and that's pretty much it. 1 more Crunch on this Bronzor takes it out and wins me the fight against Saturn. After the Mars fight, I have to travel all the way to Snow Point City to help Barry and make sure he's okay. But first, I have to fight the Ice-type gym leader, Candace. Now, you might be thinking, Ice-type versus Grass-type. Josh, it's not a good matchup. I don't know why you're doing this one. Well, one, I have to. And two, this actually goes a lot better than I thought it would. The main Pokemon I was scared about, actually the two main Pokemon I was scared about are her two bigger ones in Frostlass and Abomasnow. However, I was more scared for being against Abomasnow because Abomasnow is Ice Grass. Ice is normal defensively towards Grass, but Grass is not, which stinks. And Frostlass, if she sent out Abomasnow first and set up the snow, Frostlass's ability is Snow Cloak, which raises its evasiveness in the snow. However, it gets no chance to do such thing because I crit take it out with a Crunch. Very lucky on my part, and that just makes the battle a whole lot easier as she sends out Piloswine. I'm able to take it out with a singular Power Whip, which I think the power animation for Power Whip looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie to you guys. Single Power Whip takes it out, and out comes Abomasnow. Abomasnow sets up the Hail with its Snow Warning ability and makes everything not fun. Because why? Because I take chip damage every turn. And chip damage does not help with the Pokemon that I'm most scared of on her team. However, I'm able to deal pretty decent damage with Return and get it to a point where I can take it out in 2 hits. It hits a pretty nice Focus Blast. That's the only hit her Pokemon got on me pretty much all game except for Sneasel using Aerial Ace in the very beginning. And I was able to heal with my Shell Bell, so I was at full health for Abomasnow. No worries here. One more return is able to take it out and earn me my 6th gym badge. The next fight is with Cyrus inside his office, and it's the same team as last time, except instead of a Golbat and a Murkrow, he has a Honchkrow and a Crobat, which make my life miserable. However, one new thing that I did, I taught Carnivine Sludge Bomb. Why did I teach Carnivine Sludge Bomb? Simple, more type coverage. Except Poison doesn't really cover much. Fairy types aren't in this game, so that's one thing it doesn't really cover well. But I figured why not have a special move just in case Intimidate lowers my attack too much. After taking out Sneasel with some returns, Crobat comes out, so I go for the return. What else would I go for? As it hits me with a really, really nice Air Cutter. As you can tell, this is one of my later attempts on this fight because I'm almost 20 levels higher than Crobat. And Crobat is one of the Pokemon that I struggle the most against because it's faster than me and it hits harder than I can hit it sometimes. So Crobat is not fun at all. However, Honchkrow is a lot easier to deal with, even though Honchkrow can deal massive amounts of damage with its Drill Peck especially. However, I'm able to hit it with Return, and believe it or not, it somehow is able to survive, which I'm not surprised at, but it doesn't go for Drill Peck. It goes for Feint Attack, which is not super effective, which does not deal enough damage to take me out, which is a first for this run. Weird. However, I'm able to take him out with one more return, ending the battle after my 5th or 6th try, thank goodness. And we move on to the even harder Cyrus fight, which is the next Cyrus fight. This fight took me 2 days. This is my winning attempt. I gained 8 levels for this fight, and it's the next boss fight within like 20 minutes of you playing in the game. So him having a team of 5 after having only a team of 3 kind of sucks for you, the player. The main reason I kept losing this fight is because I could get all the way to Weavile, but I wouldn't have full HP like I would right now. I would get very unlucky with hitting myself in confusion or getting poisoned and confused by Crobat, but this attempt saved. I honestly gave up on this after 1 day. After 1 day of attempts, I just said, forget it, I don't want to play this anymore. But I was able to beat this fight at 4 a.m. this morning. Yes, you heard me right. 4 a.m. I had woken up in the middle of the night and was like, you know what, I'm just going to try this fight. And I won. So after that is Volkner, easy gym leader. They say he's the hardest gym leader in Sinnoh, but we all know, like I just complained about 30 seconds ago, not even. Cyrus is a much harder fight for me especially. Jolteon sets up a Thunder Wave, which isn't cool, but I'm able to take out most of his Pokemon with just a single return, which makes sense because now I'm level 71. In the Cyrus fight I was level 69, so it makes sense that I gained 2 levels from there to here. And also, forgot to mention, I equipped the Quick Claw to Carnivine. It didn't really activate in the Cyrus fight that I can remember, but what the Quick Claw does is every once in a while you have a chance to move before your opponent, even if your opponent's faster than you. Which really helped in this because I was paralyzed for most of the fight. Sorry, not most of the fight, pretty much all of the fight. As Luxio goes through the many fangs of fire and ice. But yeah, the Quick Claw actually saves my run in the end. I also use the Silk Scarf towards the end to power up Return, just so it can deal some more damage, which is actually what I use through most of the Elite Four. I use a total of 4 items in the game. Those are the Miracle Seed, Quick Claw, the Razor Claw, and the Silk Scarf. I use the least of the Razor Claw because I just find it randomly in the game, which is nice. Anyway, Electivire isn't able to do much damage, even though he hits a Fire Punch, which I thought was going to be a lot more damage dealt to me. However, I'm paralyzed, he hits another Fire Punch, and I thought, you know what, let me just hit him with the Whip. The big, huge Whip from the Venus Flytrap. And you know what? It takes him out in one shot, earning me my 8th and final gym badge. Now, the third hardest fight for me is the rival fight right outside the Pokemon League. I had to grind attempts on this one for a little while too, but after a few, I was able to take out Staraptor with a Sludge Bomb. Heracross, I accidentally clicked Power Whip instead of Return, so it's able to hit me with a really hard close combat. I then finish it with a Return. I take out Infernape with a critical Return, which is the only reason I won this fight. Roserade comes out next and also goes down to 1 return. Floatzel comes out after that, gets hit with a Power Whip and faints. And last but not least is his Pokemon Snorlax, which I decide to hit a Power Whip, but miss. The second time I hit it, I take it out in one shot, and now it's time to start my league battles. Aaron is first, as usual, and he sends out Yanmega. Aaron was actually the hardest league member for me, and which may seem surprising because he has all bug types. The only reason is because I got crit by his Drapions Cross Poison twice in a row. As you see here, I get a nice crit on Yanmega to take it out with Return in one hit. Out comes Vespiquen next, which I also take out with one Return. I got really nice damage rolls in this fight. No lie. But yeah, one Return takes out Vespiquen as well. His next Pokemon is Scizor. Like I said earlier, Scizor stinks as well. It being a steel type, it resists all of my moves, and I can't even hit it with Sludge Bomb. So a couple of Returns will take it out, and that's just because I have the Silk Scarf equipped, and I'm at max friendship, most likely. It hits me with one X-Scissor, and Return is able to take it out right after that. His next Pokemon is Heracross, who I am also able to take out quite easily with some Returns. And his last Pokemon being Drapion makes me a little nervous. It's a Poison and Dark type, so none of my Grass moves or my Dark moves are going to help. So I use Return, as it hits a Cross Poison. It's actually faster than me. As you can see, I'm level 86, and that's because I went rare candy hunting to beat my rival. I just could not beat my rival at all with the moveset that I had, with the Pokemon that I had. I just couldn't for whatever reason. So I grinded on rare candies, and I'm now level 86. I'm able to survive both Cross Poisons without getting crit, and I take Aaron's Drapion out with one more Return, and I'm able to defeat one out of the 4 of the Elite 4. Next fight was the easiest Elite 4 fight, as you'll be able to tell. It's against Bertha. Why Bertha? Well, I'm a Grass type. She's got a ton of Ground types. What do you expect? It's just like Rourke in the first gym. I'm able to use my Grass moves to my advantage, as one Power Whip will take out every single member of her team. And because that's all that happens, I'm going to talk about what's coming up on the channel. So, like regular, there's going to be a Rebuild Friday video on Friday, and I'm not 100% sure what team I'm going to use yet. I'm deciding between two teams that I really like and I really think could use a nice old rebuild. So expect that, and I'm thinking about starting a Madden franchise series of itself, where I rebuild one single team. I do 1 week per video. I play the moments, and we totally rebuild a team. Unlike the normal way that I rebuild teams, which is go to the middle of the season, make trades and that sort of stuff, then go to the end of the season and see if we make the playoffs. With this, I'll be going through and managing every single week of the regular season. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. It's not going to replace Rebuild Friday. It'll show up on Wednesdays, like I said in my update video. It's just going to be another video to go, just to put out more stuff, to give you guys more content, and I'm having a lot of fun with all this YouTube stuff. So continue to your support, because it means a lot. Views, likes, subscriptions, all that fun stuff just means a whole lot. And with that, we beat Bertha with the power of whipping, and we go on to Flint. Flint is the Elite Four member that I was the most scared for. Why? It's in his name and it's in his Pokemon. He's a Fire type Elite Four member with Pokemon such as Houndoom and Flareon and Magmortar and Rapidash and Infernape. Now, I got through this fight on my first try. Why? Because the power of Silk Scarf Return, and Fire types aren't usually that bulky.
they're more attack and speed. And in this case, that doesn't help him very much, as I outspeed each and every one of his Pokemon. The only one that's able to survive return is Magmortar, who I wish I was able to take down with one return, but you know, it happens. Other than that though, this fight was really easy, which I did not expect, and yeah, I take down Magmortar with 2 returns. I take down his Infernape with another 2 as well, and that sets me up for the next fight, which is Lushin, the final member of the Elite Four, who again was an easy fight up until this point. I pretty much just sweep through the entire team with crunches and power whips. So while I do that, I'm going to explain just a little more of what I'm thinking of doing on the channel. Like I said, the Rebuild a Franchise series will be on Wednesdays, like just another video to throw stuff out there. I know I said I would get back to Gaia as soon as I get my audio stuff fixed, but that's not going to be for a little while, just because the audio fix is more than just clicking a few buttons on my computer. It's my laptop in general. So unfortunately, that's not gonna happen again until probably the start of next year at the earliest. However, I am looking at getting a regular desktop computer that's going to have more storage, more RAM, so that I'm able to produce more high quality videos for you guys. So that's pretty much it on stuff that's changing, if you can really call it changing. But yeah, let me know what franchise you guys want me to rebuild as Electabuzz comes out. I know, football and Pokemon, they really don't mix. In this channel, they do. As Alakazam goes down to 1 crunch, Lushin sends out his ace, which is Gallade, which is a really cool Pokemon in my opinion, not gonna lie. And I think his Mega Evolution looks a little over the top. Still cool, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I decide to hit him with the Power Whip, and I take him out in 1 final shot. And last but not least was the second hardest fight in the entire game, and that is Cynthia. Now, the reason Cynthia is so tough is because of her diverse team, because her Garchomp still outspeeds me, and it just makes me sad. However, Togekiss was the main culprit of my struggles, as every time it would hit Air Slash, it would deal a ton of damage, and when it finally missed this past time, I was actually able to defeat Cynthia. Why? Because I had full health going into Garchomp, and just can't deal enough damage to keep up with my Carnivine. He decides to go for Giga Impact, which he only does when I have large amounts of health. My Lodic goes down to 1 Power Whip, and Lucario, the other Pokemon I need to actually get a crit on, comes out. I hit Lucario just enough to the point where she's not going to use a full restore. He hits me with an extreme speed. I survive with 1 health left. 1 health out of 263, and that wins me this fight. And that's pretty much the end of the run. I had a really hard time on this run, not gonna lie, and I think it's really funny as Carnivine looks like he wants to eat the back of my head. Like I said before, I had a lot of trouble on this run, but I still had a lot of fun doing it. So for next Rebuild Monday, let me know if there's a Pokemon that you guys want me to do a challenge around. Let me know if there's a game you want me to do a challenge around. Just comment. It really means a lot to me to see that you guys like this stuff, that you comment on this stuff, and that you're really interested in what I'm doing. But like I said, if there is a specific Pokemon you want me to do a rebuild, wow, I'm mixing up my videos already. But if there is a specific Pokemon you want me to do a challenge for, let me know in the comments section below. And until Friday, since I won't see you guys on Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have a really happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys eat a ton of food. I hope you guys have great food coma naps. If you do celebrate Thanksgiving, if you don't, I hope you guys have a great week until Friday. And if you do celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families. Take care.